Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got another very interesting combination to try out. It's one that one of you guys kind of suggested that we test out, and I think on one hand there could be a little potential here, but on the other hand I know how these shells generally perform, so I don't know if today's gun and choke combo is really gonna help them out much, but who knows, we've been really surprised before plenty of times, so this could potentially be another one of those combos that gives us a surprisingly decent result. We're just gonna have to test it and see. But for the shells I've got today, I brought out some of these Remington Premier Magnum Turkey shells. These ones are the 12 gauge 3-inch 1 3/4 ounce load of 4-shot at about 1300 feet per second. Now when one of you guys suggested this combo, you said that the Remington Nitro turkeys tend to perform well in it, and those Nitro turkey shells in my experience are generally pretty disappointing. The Premier Magnum lineup from Remington usually gives us a little bit better shot at getting a decent pattern, so this is what I decided to go with, at least for today's test. And of course we can continue to run other Remington loads through this combo as well as we get into turkey season, but we'll see what these do for a start. As for the setup we're running them in, I brought out my old Mossberg 500. This one's from the 80s. It's technically a Mossberg 500A that would have come with a fixed choke barrel, but I have a 28-inch modern vent rib barrel on it with the AccuChoke system in it, so we've got screw-in chokes, which are definitely going to help when it comes to turkey loads, that's for sure. But classic old Mossberg 500 for a shotgun with one of these chokes. This is a Mossberg X-Factor extra full 670 constriction turkey choke. We have tested this combo here recently with some longbeard shells, and it wasn't anything overly impressive, but that 670 constriction might pair well with the 4-shot in these Remington loads today. A little more breathing room might help us out some. And usually Mossberg's stock or factory issue chokes are typically pretty decent, especially when it comes to turkey chokes. A lot of times you really don't need an aftermarket choke for turkeys if you've got a Mossberg one. So we've got some more testing to do with this choke as well, and we'll see what this combo does. But as for today's test, everything is set up the same as usual. The turkey target is at 40 yards, and I've got the chrono to get some velocity. So let's get you guys a view of that target, and we'll see what these Remington Premier turkeys can do through the 500 with the Mossberg X-Factor 670. My expectations aren't over the top, but I hope it surprises me, so let's take our shot and see what we get. Alright, that shell gave us 1341 through the chrono. Boss claim is 1300, so we are a little bit over it from our 28-inch barrel with a little bit of choke out of the end. And that's starting to get up and move on out for a lead number 4, that's for sure. That's going to be plenty enough energy to do the job out to 40 any day of the week. But is it too fast to where it blows our pattern out or not? Let's go check out our results and see what we got. Alright, so here's our 40-yard paper, and we definitely see some pretty interesting results here. Right off the bat, yes, we did favor to the left, and that right there is a perfect example of why I say test with the shells and chokes you plan to hunt with before you just take it out in the woods. Even if you think you already know where your shotgun hits, whether you're running a bead sight or a red dot or anything like that. Because just recently, I tested that exact same gun and choke combo with some longbeard shells, and they hit right on the money. These favor to the left, and I know I definitely did not pull the shot. So do we have a dead bird at 40 yards, even though I was to the left? Yes, we do. There is one right through the brain and a couple more down the spine area that would have done the job. And obviously you would have a bunch down in the body as well, which leads me right back to the overall pattern. It's definitely more on the broad and open side, that's for sure. Now we do have a little bit of semblance of a core area going on. If we look just off the left edge of that turkey paper, I would say that area is a little bit hotter than the rest of the pattern, but it's not anything over the top impressive either. If we had that centered up, yeah, absolutely a 40-yard turkey combo any day of the week. But outside of that core area, we definitely start stringing them out. Much more broad, much more splotchy, pretty good voids throughout the edges. The top right area of the pattern, kind of right above that bird's head, is definitely thinner than what it looks like down towards the bottom. So it's not anything overly impressive as far as an even spread of pellets goes either. And just looking at how it performed, how we started to have a little little bit of a core area, but the rest of the pattern isn't really tightened down any. I just don't think 670 is quite enough constriction for these shells. Yes, they are a number 4 shot, which can prefer a little bit more breathing room sometimes. Remington loads are generally just not impressive performers though, and really to get them to have a tighter pattern, you kind of got to choke them down a little bit tighter in the constriction range. And 4 shot in general can be a little finicky for sure. That's why a lot of people prefer 5s. It's absolutely capable of doing the job out to 40 yards. Of course, in at closer ranges, it's going to be a little tighter, a little more condensed, but it still is going to give you a little bit more leeway for those really tight in close shots as well, and not be so screaming tight you might miss a bird a little easier. So it does have some decent attributes to it, but it's not anything I'm calling great, that's for sure. Especially when we're stringing them way off over here all the way to the right edge of the target, even though we favored to the left. Not exactly the perfect spread that we want to see. So still, once again, I think it's a case of that particular choke having potential. You just got to find the right shell that performs well through it. And to be honest with you, this is probably about what I expected to see from a Remington load in general, kind of regardless of what choke we put it through, unless we really constrict it down some. So it's usable. If it's what I had, I would run it to 40 yards and feel confident, but it is not any kind of ideal, awesome, amazing turkey pattern at the same time. And here's the wad out of that shell. Very typical Remington stuff here. It does look banged up. It does have pinholes and stuff chewed through it, but none of this is out of the ordinary for one of these Remington turkey wads. They use these in a wide variety of their shells, and they usually do come out looking like this, unless you put them through pretty much just no choke at all. So even though it looks a little rough, it's nothing out of the ordinary, and it did about the typical job that it usually does. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that result right there? I think we pretty well covered it. It's gonna do the job just fine out to 40 yards, and it's gonna do the job pretty well at 30 yards and in. It's not so screaming tight that at closer ranges you won't have any kind of wiggle room, but you could extend it if you needed to a little bit farther as well, out to this 40 to 45 yard range. It definitely isn't out of the question. So it is not a terrible turkey pattern. We've seen way worse, that's for sure, and we've seen way worse from Remington turkey loads in general as well. If it's what I had, sure, I would run it and feel okay with it. But is it a combo that I'm going to go seek out or suggest that anybody pick up and use? Probably not. So we've got some more testing to do with that X-Factor choke. I think if we find the right shell combo for it, it's going to be a very nice performer. Mossberg stock turkey chokes are usually pretty solid overall, so I still have good expectations for that choke. But with these Remington loads, it did about what I thought it would. But leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these Remington Premier Magnum Turkey 4s, or have put them through a Mossberg with an X-Factor choke? And if so, what kind of results have you seen? Is this a combo you would hunt with, or are you kind of like me, where you would use it if it's what you had, but you're not going to seek it out either? And maybe what other combos do you want to see me run when it comes to either that X-Factor choke or putting these Remington loads through? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All the information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.